that. I know there's caffeine in it. For those of you who give me alcohol, thank you for that. I know there's alcohol in that. If you give me caffeinated alcohol, I don't know what to do. And now it's Sunday, and I can't feel. Not feelings, not pain, I can't feel.
Rock on, boys!
He can't even use his hands right.
Would you like me to oh my god, the Bojack Horseman way. I need cotton candy. Another one at MFF. I just had my hair of the dog, so give me a break. Actually, I just realized how bad that sounds in this context. I just had more alcohol this morning to counteract the effects of alcohol last night. If you think that's how that works, you're an idiot. But
for some people, that's how it works, alkali.
What are these buttons?
This one? Okay, good.
What is going on?
I would tell you, but I don't want to.
But I don't want to.
What are you asking?
It's a secret.
There are people wearing Kale Illuminati buttons everywhere, and they keep warning me about the Kale Illuminati. And I don't. Why do you have badges for Kale? Welcome to closing ceremonies. Go fuck yourself. Oh my God, you did that, didn't you? There's a quick one for you. It was the first year,
and I was so tired at the end of the show. At closing ceremonies, I'm like, okay, everyone, thank you. Welcome to opening ceremonies. Everyone's like, yeah, we go come.
And yet my con's the one that got the riot. Yeah, we'll open with that. So for those of you who were not here last year, closing ceremonies had a riot in the middle of it.
What are you talking about?
Because I tried to announce the con theme, which we were so proud of, and I'm really hoping that you guys have enjoyed. No, it is not Kale, God damn it! But we had the idea for that forming at the time. There was actually even more stuff that was going on that we really wanted to work out. Some of it did work out, some of it didn't. But we were so proud of that theme. And the theme for next year is, and somebody from the audience, I'm assuming Leafy Greens, yelled out, Kale! No! And then the audience went, yeah. And then rioted.
Oh yeah, I heard about that one.
You heard about that? What the hell, guys? Yeah, that shit. So now we're standing up on stage, like, they're not going to let us, we tried to announce the theme 2 or 3 more times. They're not going to let us say shit. What are we going to do? And one of my board of directors just looking like, we can't be Kale Con. Like, you're fucking right, we can't. We had an emergency board meeting on the stage in front of everybody. And then, and thank you for being here, Kitten, don't sit down yet. Kitten, don't sit down yet. And then we decided to have, instead of being Kale Con and me wanting to kill myself, that we would throw the Kale Ball. And last night, my friend Kitten right here showed up to the Kale Ball in a full Kale ball gown, complete with Kale holding up the big old titties. And a lot of people asked if they could have a 7. Thank you, Kitten, for embracing the insanity which is now my life.
Always there for you. Now?
Des, you're another con chair. Get your ass up here.
I'm just here to eat donuts and
Oh yeah, getting look fat.
Well, I mean, obviously not me, I'm svelte.
No, yeah, no. And not me, I've just got glandular.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
This is how we reset panels in the middle of a battle.
Alright. Alright. We're going to go musical panels. Musical panels. I was walking by one of the panels last night, and people were up here doing something, and then it collapsed.
table just collapsed.
It's just like one of the legs on one of these tables, and it keeps moving around like panel rooms in this side of the building, and it just randomly collapses, like it's held together with duct tape.
Well, the hotel absolutely loves us here, but they're constantly in contact with me, as I'm sure some of our hotels are.
No.
And
No, we just show up.
and they told me maybe 3 weeks ago, like, oh, just want to let you know, you used all our stuff. Stuff? What stuff? Like tables. We went into the cellar for some of those tables. Don't stand on the tables. Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's like, well, there goes that panel idea.
One of the doorside tables, they set it up, put it down, watched it, and it was like, put that one back there.
Like we haven't all been there. Come on.
Yes.
At that point, you just find a volunteer, prop up the table.
Does your con have that kind of excess resources? Because if so, let's talk.
I wish I had people prop up the table.
All right. I felt bad when we had a volunteer last night holding a microphone. The guy was a microphone stand. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get a call from HR on this one. You guys are panelists. When we do this panel, we grab some convention chairs and we come up here and we tell you the terrible things that have happened in our conventions. The con chairman of Indie FurCon with Pandas Donuts. Pandas.
Ready for some more?
The con chairman of Furriality, another wonderful. Oh, we should go over the dates. Pandas, IFC, what are the dates of that con that I have no idea when they are?
The last weekend of August, it is one weekend before Labor Day.
27th, 28th.
Thank you, kitten.
You're welcome.
Furriality, the TAC, guys, amazing convention. Check it out, TAC. What are your dates?
We are Columbus Day weekend in Cincinnati, Ohio, which is October 7th through 9th.
The con chairman have no idea the dates. The staffers were like, it's this day, you should know this.
No, we do not.
It's a thing.
And this gentleman is the con chair of some small con somewhere.
Probably not heard of it.
Yeah, it's hipster con.
Hipster con. Yeah.
Unofficial theme this year, everyone.
Oh my God. We're all showing up to MFF. I was at MFF before it was cool. We'll just no more tails, just 40-foot scarves behind us. Ladies and gentlemen, Woody, the con chair of MFF.
All done. What? You know, maybe I'll just talk, and that's better than trying to deal with your. But these are our microphones. These are actually yours.
Yeah, no, these are my microphones.
Yeah.
It keeps
Don't stand on them.
Don't stand on these either.
We don't know where they've been placed.
So it's funny because like I've been to the convention horror stories here, and I've also been to them. I thought Duncan and Kaz would be here, but they're not. So we have this here at convention. Then we also have it at FCR, the Furry Convention Leadership Roundtable, where all the con chairs get together and cry. And, right, and so we have the same thing, except here when we tell these stories, hopefully you guys laugh. There we kind of just fall silent and take a drink. And
Think about what we've done with our lives.
I think the big difference in here and there is there we use names. And it's always the same 4 or 5 names.
Yep.
And we know who you are.
Oh, shit.
You are proud of the worst things.
Well, we are furries.
Yes, you are.
We literally started a panel at our con called Furries Ruin Everything. Just because of that.
That might be our theme. We're just going for broke. Furries ruin everything. We pass out on stage and then it's next year. We don't
Furries ruined the ceiling this year.
Stop calling my con drinking con. That's something you know but you don't say.
It's in Wisconsin.
That is cheese con.
Cheese and beer.
Cheese and beer con.
Cheese and beer. If I read
Con, yes.
Does anyone know where we can get
Actually-
a giant wheel of cheese for next year?
Actually, I think I might be able to hook you up.
Pendez,
Go to Minnesota.
didn't
They
you
got
already
good cheese
do?
there.
Didn't you already do that theme frat con? I think at
So one year at Indy FurCon, we got to share the hotel and convention space with a group of fraternity brothers.
This story.
Yeah, it was an interesting weekend. Put my donut down, sorry. Con horror story, and Dad let him put his donut down. Donut left and I had to put it down and talk for 5 minutes. Which part of the story should I tell?
Oh, go for it. We got the
All
time.
of it.
Should we do the part of the story?
It's past the 2 years. You are
It's past
actually
the 2
allowed
years.
to tell the whole thing.
And it was at our old hotel, so
Yes,
that's
it
fine.
was, yeah.
Yes.
So, yeah, that'll be where it starts. So there was some consternation between the two groups. They were not quite getting along with each
Did
other.
he say? No. Okay. I misheard this.
Not copulation, Woody.
Yeah. Okay.
There was,
Cool.
if there was copulation
That was
happening,
later.
I didn't hear about it. The two groups were not getting along. It was just like a bunch of passive-aggressive bullshit happening. But it culminated with there was a furry trying to get on the elevator, and a couple of the frat boys were in there, and they were like, "No, you may not get on." And the furry was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "No, you can take the next one." And he's just standing there like, "Well, what?" And as the doors are closing, one of the fraternity brothers decides to yell, "You ain't Rosa Parks, you're not getting on this bus." They reported this to us. And we were like, okay, we need to talk to our hotel liaison because there's no reason for this. Like, they're in a separate part of the hotel. Yes, we're gonna have the elevators go up to the rooms, but our convention space is separated. There's no reason we can't get along. So we call the hotel liaison in and we're like, hey, these are some of the things that have been happening. And it sort of culminated with this last event. The elevator and the UA Rosa Parks, doors closed. And our hotel liaison, a skinny, 25-year-old African-American lady, heard the Rosa Parks comment and did the following. Oh, hell no! And she was, all of us on the board were like,
There's a smoke outline of her.
no, you know the Roadrunner? That was her, oh hell no. 15 minutes later, there were signs up everywhere. Emergency meeting, everyone that's part of the other convention. We are having a meeting now. There was less hostilities for the rest of that day.
That's an understatement.
Then, and I'm sure a lot of you have heard the fire alarm story, the I love you fire alarm story, which might get told in full detail later. While that was happening at MST3K, the furries and the frat boys decided, let's just settle our differences once and for all.
Oh boy.
A couple of the fraternity brothers were down in the lobby. The convention space is on the second floor. The lobby's at the bottom of the escalator. You can see what's going on in the lobby from the convention area. There were a couple of frat boys sitting on one side of the table. A couple of furries came up, sat down at the other side of the table. They started drinking with each other. And the frat boys started going, take it off, take it off, take it off, and then take off the fursuit head. They were drinking. And the fursuit started going, put them on, put them on. And the frat boys put the fursuit heads on, while the furries were just wearing like the bodysuits. and they're drinking, and furries are accumulating to the furry side of the table, and frat boys are coming to the frat boy side of the table, and it becomes a full-on drinking contest. No, I was not there for this, because I was obliterated by Bruce.
My bad.
Oh, Battlefield Earth MST3K.
Screen, center screen.
Center screen wipe from my liver.
I was there for both things.
I don't know the entire chant, but if you want to see it, it is on YouTube. About 10 minutes worth of this event happening is on YouTube. But it culminated with our head of finance. It walks out of MTST3K going, I think we're having a really good night. And all of a sudden he hears coming from the lobby, hundreds of people chanting this. And he slowly makes his way to the edge and looks down over and sees the entire lot filled with hundreds of furries and frat boys drinking and chanting and swearing. And he glances up and across on the other side, on this little ledge, coming out from ConOps, there's our security team, and he's like, and he gestures to the hotel desk, which is right down on the floor. And they look up at both of them and go, they went down and talked to them, and they were like, are you sure you don't want us to say something to them? They're like, they're getting along for the first time in 2 days, let them drink. But yeah, if you want to see the full video of the events that transpired, look up Indie FurCon
2012, Furries and Frat Boys.
Furries and Frat Boys, the entire video.
Oh yeah!
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That was interesting.
The TAC, you're a new convention. And I heard that sometimes new conventions can come together at the last minute.
Yes.
In fact, I've heard that some new conventions can try to create a convention in 3 months.
No, it was 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Our con was actually an accident.
I accidentally a con.
We accidentally a con. Okay, so what happened is Cincinnati has a very large steampunk community. And we are good friends with the gentleman who runs most of the steampunk events and stuff like that. And since steampunking is so heavily involved in costuming, and he knew that we eventually wanted to start a convention, he said, why don't you run a sub-event at our show? Basically like a giant fur meet within our con, and then they can come in and they get to enjoy the rest of the show too. They have their own dealers, tables, panels, things like that, and so on. I'm like, okay, that sounds like a really good idea. We'll get our feet wet, sort of jump in, get ready in a year or two from there. We had so many people pre-register in the first 24 hours that we went, oh shit, this isn't going to be a 50-person event. We had to run out, get our own hotel, dealer space, all kinds of stuff for a con suite, everything, like all the equipment, tools, stuff that you need for a convention, all our printing, all our swag, everything for the show was put together in 6 weeks. We literally had people on the internet going, this is a scam, right? Like people are like, you know what, this is gotta be a scam. I've never fucking heard of this show before now, and we're like, well, yeah, no, we're new. Yeah, but like, you mean next year, right? No, we mean like 2 weeks from now. So I'm pretty sure that like half the people who showed up at our convention showed up just to see if this really was a scam, or if this would be one guy in the room going, I got your money now.
So we enjoy the ball pit.
Right. 8 people show up for this event over the course of like a 6-week throw together, and it was like absolutely crazy. And so after our show is over, we're sitting there going, well shit, we have a whole year now. What do we do? I don't know, take 8 months off. We'll have 2 months to sit
did love, I got to go to their opening ceremonies, and you could tell that the con took 6 months, or 6 weeks to put together, because they walked into the room, it's like, oh, it started, and the hard part's and they just basically just sat down on the stage and just stared at us. Like,
We've done our part.
Most of what I do is me coming up with a stupid idea and no one telling me no. Like someone should have told me that's not enough time to put together a con. Literally no one did. Everyone was like, that sounds like a good idea, I'm gonna help you with that. I had someone contact Alkali, he's like, sure, this sounds like a real thing, I'll totally go to that. It's just a series of people not telling me no.
that's
So like
awesome.
Kanye. I don't have any good friends.
Greatest con runner of all time. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Kanye's did it better.
What did you just say?
I'm aware. It's actually really funny to see the different leadership styles, because I work with everybody up here, and the different leadership styles of the cons, like the tech over here, I mean, calm, collective, individual. Somebody comes in like, the hotel is on fire, and he's like, yes.
I actually have a hotel fire story.
I mean, which one of us doesn't? But we usually don't tell those.
It's okay. This one's okay. This one's okay. So one of the big problems our staff has is radio etiquette. And we're slowly upgrading to where we have the headsets and you guys can't hear what we're saying and stuff. But you know, we do a bit at a time, small young show, we pick and choose our upgrades and stuff. Last year, the first 24 hours of our show, when we're all a little bit crazy, a little bit chickens with our head cut off, people weren't thinking as they were calling things out on the radio. One of the unique tracks that we have at our convention is a cooking track, where we do like barbecue grilling, teaching people how to make candy, things like that. And the hotel allowed us to set up a barbecue outside for one of those panels. And at one point, over the radio, I'm walking through one of the really crowded public places, and someone just goes, "Did anyone put out the fire?" And I stop in the middle of the crowd and I go, "You mean the barbecue, right?" "Yeah, the barbecue." "Say that next time." because that really worried me.
Alkali and Woody, I believe you two have a story involving radio etiquette, don't you?
No.
I believe it involves breakfast food of some sort?
Kale.
No, what kale is
It's not a breakfast food!
The butter situation?
No, not the butter situation.
I actually did have trouble this morning at the buffet. I was like, "No, where is the butter?" And so, I could not find it. I was looking everywhere. It wasn't near the muffins, because that's what I wanted them for, was for the muffins. And I could not find butter, and I was about to, call someone and complain. Maybe write a long, drawn-out letter to complain about the location of the butter.
You can kick my ass on Rocket League when we get back.
But I found it, and I was good.
Oh, good. I'm so glad.
No complaints for you today.
I'm so glad. The complaints that we get. Oh my God.
Actually, you know what? Here's something I absolutely love. Not just the complaints, but the oddball question. I cannot tell you, and I hope all of you can relate, I cannot tell you how many people contact me over the course of the year asking this one very simple question that they should know the answer to. Am I banned? I'm not sure, because I heard from a friend of a friend that I was banned.
Yes.
So, am I banned from your convention?
Now I gotta ask, what's your response to that question? Because we always use the same response.
Should you be?
There you go. That's exactly what you said.
Is there something I should be concerned about? Like, why are you asking this?
Perhaps you should review why you think you're banned
Right.
before we answer.
Question some of your life choices, and then get back to me.
Don't drink with alcohol.
No, don't.
Exactly what you do to the hotel that we don't know about.
I get like that every time someone comes up to me with a question like, "Hey, I wanted to check if this is okay." No. Like, do you want to hear what it is?
No.
No. You have to ask. It's probably not okay.
Yeah, that is actually a really good rule of thumb. Did you have to ask the con chairman if you could do this activity? You shouldn't do that activity. Yeah, you shouldn't throw chairs at a party, and then when I ask you don't throw chairs, you build a throne out of chairs and are drunkenly sitting at it, guy in the back of the room. I know I didn't say it, you should have known! He got hotel security called on my party! What? It was the night liaison! They looked at you, they looked at me, they smiled and go, I'm gonna love talking to you tomorrow.
This happened.
This happened like 8 hours ago.
Ongoing con horror stories.
All right, now here's one. It's low enough that I don't need the 2 years on it. I did a panel late Friday night that you might remember some of. Some of. So I was fairly tipsy, and you know what happens when you drink that much? You need to go to the can. So I went over to this washroom right here. I'm pissing. And all of a sudden I feel a hand on my back, which, by the way, don't fucking do that. Hey, you know where I can score any weed?
This ain't Colorado.
4 or 5 times because, you know, playing with it. I turned around and I did this, because that's where my con chairman badge was yesterday. And he looked at the badge, he looked at me, weed killer, there is a major infestation. And it was just such a surreal experience. I'm like, man, if he would have asked a second time, I might have even told him, but still, that took long. Yeah, that was a good one.
That is smooth though. That's
Oh yeah, no, that was.
You gotta hand it to him. Jeez.
What happened at Rainfurs so we know not to do it here?
Everything.
There's a list.
We don't talk about rainforest.
Yes.
The first rule of Rainfurs and the second rule.
Actually, I guess technically it's the last rule of Rainfurs now. Very sad.
All right. Radio story.
Sure.
When you run cons, you get slap happy.
Yes.
Not normal slap happy, like I've done acid for a month slap happy. And this.
I don't know what that's like, but I'm gonna trust you on it.
You
Go.
don't? What are you doing in March? This gentleman who was head of finance at the time of MFF, and Takazo, who was liaison?
Charity? No.
Hotel liaison.
Yeah.
So the hotel liaison, the finance director, and the head of back of house con suite have lost.
Walk into a bar.
Yeah, walk into a bar. We're done. Nothing is making sense anymore.
We've reached the end of any kind of civilized discourse in our heads. Just, yeah.
Yes. And the 3 of them, they were walking through back of house con suite, and they stopped to talk to me. And somebody came over the radio and said something just supremely retarded. And it made no sense, and people started talking randomly on the radio, and then people started getting on the radio, cut off the idle chatter, and that made it worse. So at this point,
we have a few more radios, I guess,
yeah,
than you guys do. So when things start going off topic, they radically go off topic. Because, you know, there's 250 staff, and I think that of them, like 80 have radios at this point. So we've got like 80 different people, you know, all back and forth. And every year we end up with little songs and whatnot that get played. But anyway.
They have one gentleman whose only job it is to get on the radio and say, stop the idle chatter. His hair went gray this year. It was funny. So we're standing there listening to this idle chatter. We're all laughing, and he leans over and knocks a bowl of oatmeal flakes onto the ground. So I grab my razor, like, head of finance spilled the oatmeal. And he goes white as a sheet. Takazo looks at me and grabs onto a surface. As immediately the con chairman said, "Oh, chatter, stop, swears the oatmeal." Switching over to security. They go over to the security channel. "We need the oatmeal spill right now. Where is that oatmeal spill?" Like, what the hell is going on? And him, he's masturbating, he's like, "Oatmeal's the code for money!" The oatmeal is everywhere! We made it The doors to the back of the house, they're swinging doors out. They swung in as security ran in. They don't own guns, but they had them. Oh, what did we do? We ruined the con.
Code words are useful sometimes.
They don't use oatmeal as the code for money anymore. And I was banned from the radio for 2 years. Which was the best 2 years of MFL.
So quiet. You're lucky re-elected. It's kind of sad to give you one now.
I always used to have like no radio. I was like, man, this is nice. Woody, that's a problem. I'm gonna sit here rubbing my belly. This is hysterical. Takaza. Oh, that one's got his finger in his ear.
Yes, the staff stroke when everywhere, half the people in the party suddenly go. Okay.
Oh yeah.
You know, we had a code that we had to come up with a few years back because we had another little incident with a hot tub. Oh. We ended up going with code O.
This would be at an old hotel, wouldn't it?
Yes, this is a previous hotel with a current staff member. Wow, that's weird.
Yeah.
Oh, so that is like the absolute worst way to punish someone, of course, is to promote them. It's universal, I think, you know.
You suspend them, but then instead of coming back as an attendee, it's instant staff.
Right. I'm gonna put you in charge of something.
You can't come, and then when you do come, you run things.
Oh man, that's basically what happened to you. It's like, oh, he looks like he's having fun at conventions. He's not doing enough. Give him a con. He's got 6 weeks. He got this. Don't worry.
Mr. My own con with blackjack and hookers.
We tried that one year. It didn't go well.
BLFC?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Would that be BLFC?
So I guess continuing the theme of radio chatter.
Sure.
Again, it's sort of an ongoing thing with us to fight with our radio chatter. And we had a fursuit track, and the person who was demonstrating how to make fursuits was doing a panel showing stuff off. And she lost some of her equipment on her way back down to ops. And all of a sudden over the radio, someone goes, "We found a needle." And the safety guys grab their hazardous material kits, and they're like, you know, roadrunner out the door, and they're like all the way through the hallway, and they're like moving people out of the way. And I just go over the radio. They meant sewing needle. And this kind of stuff just continued like all throughout the first 24 hours of the convention, where someone's like, "We found poppers," and I'm like, "Oh shit, we've got a drug incident going on." They're like, "No, those little snap popper thing. So finally we start to wrangle in the radio chatter, you know, first off getting people to actually say the actual thing and not the short version of it because it sounds so much worse. And second of all, to not say things out loud and publicly, switch to, you know, security channels as appropriate or so on. And finally I come in the second day into ops, and my one friend who runs registration, she is there like the entire time, like 72 hours straight. She runs registration by herself practically. And she looks so upset, and I'm like, what happened? What's going on? She goes, my soap opera's over. I go, what? She goes, the radio's not fun anymore. She literally said herself for like the first 24 hours of it's on with this little melodrama that was running out.
You should just start switching over to Spanish and make it a telenovela at some point.
And for reality.
So we had, I think, the best, my favorite radio call ever this year. And of course, it's stupid late Sunday night. And our charity this year, everyone loved them, great guys, you know, kind of bigger guys, so, you know, stunning eyes. So people were calling them the Charity Bears. They were, you know, really attractive if you're into that kind of thing. And so everyone loved the Charity Bears. And one of them was this, you know, shorter rugby playing guy. And a lot of people liked the little rugby bear. These men are all completely straight and have no interest in this, but they like the attention, it's cool. So I get this radio call, and I don't remember which department called. It was like, so-and-so to the con chair. I was like, yes, this con chair. We have a half-naked charity bear. I'm like, what? We have a half-naked charity bear. Where? He's currently laying on top of the info desk in the hallway. Oh, is he tall enough to even climb up on that security? Apparently, he has been on a very strict diet for some time and not been drinking very much, and so he was allowed to drink and ended up half naked and sprawled across our info desk. And so it was my favorite call for, you know, for our charity liaison to go take care of this as his one final act as our charity liaison before stepping down. And I think it was a good final act to go out on.
I'm sorry.
You know what the awesome thing is though? They've never been to a convention before.
Yes.
And that
Several of them.
Stop it with the radio.
Several of them had enjoyed it so much for their first Fursquared convention, they showed up here for this convention just a couple months ago.
Yes, right there. There you go.
And right up there we got a person.
Yes. So let me just say.
And this one works.
It kind of works.
Halfway. Yeah, we were the charity for MFF 2015. I absolutely love this. My dad, who was the main person, he was very, what were the words he said? He was a
NASCAR-loving, beer-drinking
redneck homophobe that didn't want anything to do with this, and we basically drugged him in the car and said, "You're going." We were getting ready to strap him down on top of the car with tie-downs. I have lots.
Which is a whole other scene. Sorry, wrong panel.
Let's not go there.
Security!
Let's not go there.
Yeah.
So he basically went in there. We have pictures. He was in a fur pile.
Yep.
That was a fun one. I actually got him into a suit, a head and claws. That was amazing. Yeah, and he absolutely loved it. He changed, you know, everything he thought about it. He loves this stuff now. I think he's a closet furry. I have been closet furry for the past 5 years, and as soon as he's like, "I like these people," I'm like, "Oh, wonderful." So I wound up finding this suit, went out and bought it, and wound up dragging him over here after he got out of the baseball game. He drove 5 hours from Indiana to here just to come visit us and to come visit you.
Yeah, he's in Indiana.
No, we live in Illinois, but he was at a baseball game for his wife's stepkid. So I want to thank you guys very much. I love this, and I guarantee you I will be here for as many as are coming.
Cool. Again, how fucking awesome is that?
I fucking love this place. I fucking love this community.
Right?
The charity is so wonderful to bring a new charity into the fold, because there is no amount of words or YouTube videos that can prepare them for this.
Yes.
We had a charity our first year who at one point was just like, wow, this is amazing. They're giving out money just to hold kittens. Send out the kitties. And they gave people buckets and kittens and said, go. And when they came back, the buckets were full and the kittens were tired. And at the end of the convention, they told me, because they needed to tell me the amount of money, they told me the amount of money and then thanked me so that they didn't have to deal with the rambunctious kittens on the way home. Because those little fuckers just went to sleep.
That's awesome. We had, whatchamacallit, Canines and Felines 3 years ago, and we got them on stage at closing ceremonies and then gave them a check, and their response was, fuck!
So I'm not the first person
You
to swear
are not.
at your
You
closing
are not. No,
ceremony.
thank you. Thank you for that.
I remember that.
Yes.
They were in tears.
They were.
I was in tears.
I think we were all in
charities
tears.
for MFF have been in tears.
Yes.
Come on, more than that.
It's something we, try for. I think we are pretty successful at it. We have a weird fetish into making charities cry.
Yeah.
Their tears are delicious.
Fucking internet trolls.
Yes.
Hey, someone new at the back of the room that's involved with the
Hi, Duncan.
How you doing, Duncan?
You made the mistake of dressing like a convention staffer.
Come on up.
I've been hurted.
Yes, you've been hurted by the bird cow. Ladies and gentlemen, another former con chair of MFF. And soon to be current con chair of MFF.
No.
Me and Woody have been talking.
No.
And the soon to be current con chair of Fursquared.
No.
And the soon to be current con chair of Reality. We're going to make a few new cons. He's going to con chair those.
Oh! No, you are still here now. It's not
Oh, it's a throne now.
If you kill the current con chair, you take his place?
Yes.
That's what I've been.
All cons are
Not disassemble Johnny 5.
All cons are run under the Highlander scheme.
So here's what we do. Here's what we do. The five of us get together instead of being the con chair. We're the con living room set.
It's all couch.
Like IKEA would.
Yes, that's right.
And all form the head.
Why do I always have to be the butt? Damn it!
Because as a con chair, you're fucked. So, because we're running low on time, but we saw you back there, we wanted you up. Why don't you tell us, maybe not about your convention, but your hotel, and how things just kind of fall into place, fall from like the 9th story building.
Oh God!
Oh no!
Yes, no! Fortunately, this was not at Midwest Fur Fest. This was actually something that happened before Midwest Fur Fest even arrived at the Hyatt Regency O'Hare. And if you had been there, and I was actually the Marks were there for at least 2 years afterwards. Right there by the lobby bar outside of the hotel restaurant, you'll notice that there's these big glass panes in the floor. And one of them had this wonderful shatter mark. And I remember walking through there and looking down at it and asking our convention services manager, what exactly happened here? He said, Anime Central. And that was what, it was a frozen turkey. And apparently that was trumped the following year by the water balloon filled with baby oil. Don't do that. So you understand, when we said we have a convention full of weirdos and we're coming here to take over your hotel, like, whatever. That's Wednesday. That's fine.
Unlike some of the events there, we don't have splash zones.
Exactly.
They think it's cute that we think we're weird.
Don't we?
MFF doesn't.
Not in the function spaces.
When IndieFurCon was interviewing to switch from the Sheraton to a new hotel, we went to talk to the Marriott that we're at now. And we're like showing them pictures. It's like, we got a lot of costumers, and so, you know, but there might be a lot of, you know, shedding, you know, in all your areas. And they're like, guys, we've hosted Horror Hound. Fur vacuums, fake blood doesn't. Like, come to the con. Like, they were telling us stories about, I think it was a bingo convention or something that they hosted. These assholes were.
Oh. No, it wasn't bingo, because this, if you ask a hotel, I'd say at this point, because we always ask something like this, at this point I think it's almost unanimous, maybe one or two, the worst groups to come in, besides parents of their children's sporting teams, those are bad.
Dance moms.
Dance moms. They say hands down the worst. Bridge groups. That's what it wasn't bingo, it was bridge.
Okay.
They're like, all it is 80-year-old women sitting at the hotel bar screaming there's not enough bread. We deal with that for days. They turn up the heat, then they turn down the heat, then they turn up the heat. We all catch colds, like they hate bridge groups.
There was someone from that group. They ordered a meal and they forgot the potatoes, or like they gave them a baked and it was supposed to be mashed, and tried to argue with the front desk for an hour that their room should be comped because of the potato incident. These are the people that the hotel deal with. Furry's got nothing. We're tame. We may think, oh no, furry. No, seriously, the hotels are like, whatever. Unless you're a furry bridge player, then. We should have a bridge panel just to see.
No! You don't vote the charity bear.
I don't think the furries play bridge the same way.
One bridge is called
BridgeCon.
So I thought this was an amusing story that popped into my head, and something you would appreciate, because it speaks to you and your love of this certain thing. We got a very awkward and urgent phone call from our storage locker, which I'm sure you now love, having immersed yourself into that space.
Yeah, thank you for that.
So we get a very urgent call, and they want to let us know that apparently there's a flood happening, and it's coming from our storage locker, not to our storage locker. It turns out that your soda machine, of course I say yours, decided to piss itself. All everywhere.
You're supposed to drain those things when you're done?
Well, apparently now we do. Yeah.
I'm sorry, baby.
You know, Kale is the one that had to respond to that call, so I'm going to give him that through response.
Tell him he can have membership at IndieFurCon. Hey, I'm spending your money now. I'm his finance director. It's my money.
So do you then get the same responsibility I did when I was dealing with finance for MFF? Where
say no 20 times a day?
You got different policies.
No. Yeah, but we don't act for crazy things. Like, okay, there was 2 years in a row we tried to get the bouncy castle. And the finance director was like, oh no, we'll get them to sign a waiver. No.
Literally
every time one of my staff comes up to me and goes, I have an idea. I go, okay, what's it going to cost? I don't even wait to hear it first. I just go, what's this going to cost me?
That's how finance works.
Yeah, that's okay. That's a little different than how it works with us.
How does it work?
For MFF, the treasurer and the assistant treasurer have like very unique and distinct roles. The assistant treasurer's job is basically to identify problems and then jump on them. And the treasurer's job is to throw money at them. Just throw the money until the problem goes away.
Yeah, we don't have MFF bucks, okay, buddy?
Okay. It's a little different approach.
I'm looking at the numbers I'm expecting, and I'm looking at the food I can serve. I'm like, do you have gruel? I can afford gruel. Well, we have pizza. It's like, do pizza. They might like that more. And money gone. So, to finish it off, there's a story out there that I like to tell that puts everything in perspective, because we used to come up here and if we didn't enjoy it, we wouldn't do it. There's some sick, twisted part of us that wanted to run a convention for 5 minutes, and the rest of us hates that part of us. And then there's the toe of regret. But what it comes down to is, we're not the worst.
Is this the personal security?
This is the campsite. And actually, you saw some of the people that were there for this, my Nero friends. Because for a while, we needed to supplement the income of the campsite. So we decided to start throwing concerts there. And one concert from a local band at NIU brought in more people than we had ever seen at that campsite. There were 400 or 500 people trouncing around, digging up mud and doing terrible things while me and all the Nero people ran security. Oh no. And then things started to happen. The first call that we got onto the golf cart and drove over to my storage shed. In that storage shed is a bunch of old Nero weapons, is some tools, and all the fireworks that we didn't use last year. Oh. We were missing a large pair of bolt cutters and all the fireworks that we didn't use last year. Now this is not bottle rockets. This is not just mortars. These are aerial sticks of dynamite. It's fun and loud and dangerous. And now we're at Code Blue. As we're dealing with that, we're standing in there. Now bear in mind, we have to go through a large portion of basically dense forest to get to this thing. We hear from behind us, and somebody steals our golf cart. Steve turns around and, shit, boom, and he's gone, and I'm fed. I'm like, well, I'll go do something else. I walk away, and I have a few people talking to me as I go. We're wearing staff shirts. They go, oh, when you get a chance, can you replace the toilet paper in the men's washroom? We have industrial rolls. We have like 10 of those in there. What? There is no toilet paper in the men's. There's no toilet paper rolls. Somebody stole 10 industrial-sized things. Like, okay, I guess I'll go. So I'm going to get more toilet paper, and in the distance, I just see, vroom. Steve. Right. I'll deal with that later. I get to our storage locker. There is a rave going on in the storage locker. That is a bunch of people with broken light sticks dancing around, and a Tupperware container this tall, this thick, and this wide of magic mushrooms.
Oh, God.
I was thrilled. So I asked the gentleman in there, I'm going to ask you the 2 important questions. 1, do you know who I am? And 2, how old are you? I didn't like either of their answers. Because they thought I was there for the party, and they didn't have ID, and they were obviously 16 or under. Oh. Their brother, from NIU had given them a tub of mushrooms to sell at this thing, and them, being good siblings and a good sibling's friend, decided, no, we'll just eat them ourselves. They were locked in their car for the rest of the night. They honked a few times. For the most part, they understood. You could either behave in your car or not behave in a prison cell, and you're 16. They understood. Also, if anyone's looking to buy shrooms, I walk out from the parking lot and look down to our basically winter storage. It was fall, it's getting cold out. We had a paddle boat for the pond. We had a canoe for the pond. I noticed I said had. Those are gone. I look out to the lake, they're not there. And I noticed that the chain on the ground has been cut, almost by large bolt cutters that are missing. And in the background I hear, and I see Steve. Oh, he's good, he's good. The night goes on, and finally, it culminates. The concert is over. People are drunk. People are stoned. There is a haze of pot at my head level and just over everybody else. I'm getting a contact high from the air. The band has decided to have a mosh pit with no more music. They are just fighting. And they're the ones who paid us for the site, and I don't know if I'm allowed to hit them with a shovel. And it didn't matter, because at that point, a golf cart with no one sitting on it drove through the middle of the nine people. And Steve was running after it. And I thought at that moment, well, and all of us know that this is the thing you never say out loud or think.
No.
At least it can't get any worse.
God damn it!
And then the lake exploded. The two teenagers had gotten out of their car, siphoned the gas, handed it to the guys who were looking for it, who took the toilet paper they stole, lined the bottom of the canoe, soaked it in gasoline, piled on the fireworks, and took one of my wicks and laid it in there. Do you guys know the difference between a slow-burning wick and a quick-burning wick? Yes. They did not. They took the yellow one.
Oh no.
The yellow one goes like that. They were standing on the shore, they did that, and I now have a tree, which I will always hold near and dear to my heart, because I always wished it was them, with a piece of a canoe sticking out of it. They blew up close to $1,000 worth of dynamite in a canoe. We ate fish the next day. So no matter how bad you guys get, I just have to sit down if things go wrong and just think of, it's going to be okay.
I just can't help but notice that 400 or 500 people. So you're saying one half of this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't steal my golf carts or blow up a lake. Guys, this has been Convention Horror Stories. We are con chairmen, we are idiots. But we do it for you.